Hello. So first I'll show you how to install the bot. You have to go to the GitHub link of the bot repository. There you will find a link to add the bot to your server. You click it and like so it will take you to Discord. Here you just have to choose the server you want to add the bot to, and these are the permissions needed by the bot to function. Now, just for testing purposes, I will take away the permissions that it needs, just to show you that the bot will deal with it if it doesn't have the permissions that it needs. So here I took away the manage channels, send messages, and manage messages permissions, just to show you what happens. Now the bot has been successfully added, and I just forgot that the bot isn't running. Let me just run it real quick. Okay, now it's running. So you can see the board is online. I will try to run the game. It tells me exactly the permissions that are missing in the bot. So now all I have to do is go to the bot settings, no, the server settings, and give those permissions. So this is so that the user knows exactly what they're doing wrong if the bot isn't working. So I will give it the manage channels, send messages, and manage messages. Yep, and save changes. Oh, it's just a random message. Let me delete it. Okay, now if I try to run the command, it should work. And yeah, it works. Now, in order to show you how to play a game of Mafia using the bot, we run the command start Mafia game in any channel where you have the manage channel permissions. Everybody who wants to join the game, they can click the join game lobby button. The registration will take 20 seconds and then the game will start. If you change your mind, you can click leave game lobby to leave the lobby. Now it will show all the players in the upcoming game. It also shows the roles, the townspeople, the mafias, and the detective and the doctor. This is only for development purposes. In a real game, this is just for the demo. In a real game, I will disable it. It's just one line of code. So this is just to show you how the role assignment works. It creates a channel called TB Mafia board game where only the players who play that game can see it. It also creates that channel called Mafia only channel. Every round it creates a new channel with that name, and this is a channel that only the Mafia can see. The reason I can see it right now despite not being in a Mafia is because I am an administrator in the server. But don't worry, in a real game I have implemented an anti-cheat where if an administrator can see, if they can see the channel, they still cannot vote. I'll show you how it works later. So yeah, these are the roles. I'm just double checking it. So now this is the Mafia channel. The player who is a Mafia in this round is named Newbie. This channel, it's usually has more than one member with a bigger game lobby. Now it asks Newbie to choose a player to kill because they are the Mafia. The options are all the townspeople. So see, I try to vote, and I'm not a Mafia, I'm just an admin, so it gives me the warning. It warns all the players in the game that somebody's trying to manipulate the votes. Only the Mafia can vote. And you can see the Mafia voted for the player named Ranafa underscore. So now it goes back to the main channel, and it says the Mafia vote has ended. The detective will now investigate someone. So now the detective, who is Hisham, will get a DM in Discord. He will get the poll in DM, and he can choose anybody he wants, and the game will tell him if that person is a Mafia or not. So right now he's being DM'd. You can see how the detective role works in the draft of the application. So during the night, the Mafia voted for Anafa and that person was killed. Now discussion time for the townspeople has started. Now they can discuss on who they want to kill. So they will discuss who they think is the Mafia, and it depends on that. So they're discussing right now. So the discussion time in a normal game will be 3 minutes, but for development purposes, I changed the discussion time to only 1 minute since this is for the demo. The discussion time is 1 minute. So everybody decides to vote for the player named Flapdoodle. Now, however, since we are viewing a demo, we know that the Nobi is the Mafia, but the other players do not know that. So they're just voting for Flapdoodle because the detective chose the Leffert, and the Leffert was not the Mafia. So now the vote opens, and everybody just voted Flapdoodle. By the way, here, if somebody tries to vote twice, the game does not recognize it and it warns them. This is another anti-cheat. Yep, Flapdoodle was executed. They were not a mafia, and this is output by the game. Now round 2 will begin, and it will create the private channel again that only the mafia can see. Now Nubi will decide who to kill next. They have 1 minute to decide. And as you can see on the right side, only the mafia and the bot are in this channel. Also, there might be some other people, but that's only because they are admins the server, and there's no way to prevent them from seeing it. In a real game, it will be, to be a good sportsman, the admin will be asked not to look at these channels. So the voting is just about to end, and then we will choose someone who they want to kill. Okay, the voting just ended. And these are the options. You can see that the options are the townspeople, besides Nubi and the other mafias. Well, in this case, there's only one mafia. So Nubi voted to kill Priceless, and now we can see in the main. The mafia vote has ended. The detective will now get the direct message to investigate another player. And this is useful in the discussion round. So right now the detective is investigating someone. Basically how the detective role works is they give them a poll, a list of every player in the game besides themselves. And once they click it, the game will tell them if that player is a mafia or not. Now it's discussion time again. They will figure out who to vote out, who is the potential mafia, and we'll see who dies. So as you can see, Hisham, who is the detective, he mentioned that he's a detective and he investigated one of the people. He's the mafia. Now Hisham is a dramatic person, so he's not going to tell them directly. But we feel Nubi is suspicious, so everybody voted for Nubi. I feel bad for him, but he was suspicious. So now you can see Nubi try to defend himself. Now that's another aspect of Mafia. Nubi is questioning if Hisham is actually not the detective and he's lying, and that's true. That could also happen. But to this point, everybody had made up their mind about Nubi, so they just voted for Nubi. I voted for Nubi. Says here, Hisham is tricking me into me thinking that he voted for me, but he also voted for Nubi, as you can see. Nubi got 2 results, and thus Nubi was executed. Now, since all the mafias are dead, the game should end now. And yeah, as you can see, the channel was deleted. And in the channel that the main command was run, you can see the results and it prints out which team won and all the players in the team.